All right, I'm traveling, like I said, so sorry if this is like been kind of inconsistent the past couple of days. I've been like trying to find a good spot to record videos, but yeah. Anyways, the topic of this video is the two simple steps that you need to understand women and how to get them and how to get girls in general. If you're like, I think most guys go through a period of just like complete cluelessness, like you're just confused. You feel like you're like a veil and you're just like confused. You're like in the dark about girls. Like you don't understand why someone gets girls, why like the nice guy doesn't get girls, why you know, you're getting like dumped for the bad guy or whatever and all this stuff and you just don't understand it. But coming from a place of like going through that time of like not just being really confused about it, I can give you like the actual insights that will help you to progress in your understanding. Because it's kind of like a journey. When you first start, you're like confused, and then you'll start to like have realizations and understanding, and you'll figure it out as time passes. So the first thing is to understand that you have to talk to more girls in general in order to understand them and be better at, you know, creating attraction, all stuff, right? I'm in like a garden and stuff. There's like bugs everywhere. But yeah. So even if you understand women completely and you don't talk to them, then you're not gonna have the experience. You're gonna be like jittery and shaky, and you're not gonna be able to like have an intelligent conversation and you know, like just talk to girls and stuff like that when you see them. So the first thing you need to understand is that you need to build your confidence and build your comfortability with speaking to girls, speaking to people in general, right? It's not supposed to be like so specific to girls, because if you can speak to everyone better, then you can speak to girls better. It's not like there's some like insane like alien species. They're just like normal people. So if you're better at speaking in general, then you'll be able to be better at speaking to girls, right? But it's also important to go through the phase from like, because go through the phase of you know, being awkward around girls and like shy to talk to them, and then like desensitize yourself and get to a place where you're confident and comfortable talking to girls. First video of the day, so I'm kind of tongue tied. But yeah, it's important to go through that, because if you can, then you'll get to a point where you can see a girl, like let's say just walking down the street, or you know, in the grocery store, and then you can talk to her, have a conversation, make eye contact, and not be like a fucking weird little nerd who like is looking around like this and like darting away and you know, being insecure and having like shitty hunched over posture. Um, yeah, super helpful. It teaches you a ton of things about yourself, and it makes you way more confident in like all other areas, not just with speaking to girls. Like you'll be much more confident in speaking to people, speaking to starting conversation with friends, with new people, just like random stuff. You know, it's just like it overflows into all other aspects of your social life, which I think is super important. And once you are able to talk to girls just in general, if you see a girl in like the grocery store, for example, you can start a conversation and see if she likes you, and try to make her laugh, and just, you know, have a fun, good conversation with it. Just have a good time with it, basically. Because it's not so like red pill cold approach. You know, it's just like kind of having a conversation, like having a conversation right now. I guess it's like a one-sided conversation, but you understand the point. So yeah, that's the first thing, is just desensitize yourself, realize that it's not so bad, and realize that if you're like someone who's never like done a cold approach before or whatever, then realizing that like it's not, you're not gonna die. Like when you first try to go talk to a girl, like, you know, like you see a cute girl in the park and you want to go talk to her, you're like shivering, like you're fucking, it's insane. Like you cannot make yourself do it. You'd rather be like punched in the face than go talk to this girl, which is stupid, but yeah, that's how it is. And you just progressively improve as everything in life. You just kind of suck in the beginning and then you get better. So yeah. And then the second thing is understanding girls. So a lot of dudes kind of think they don't really understand that female psychology is different from male psychology. There's like tons of like things you can learn about this, but it's basically understanding that men think logically, rationally, and they have like an instant attraction. Like if you see a girl that you think is like a 10 out of 10, you'd be instantly attracted and like emotionally engaged. Versus for girls, they aren't so much like, it's not so instant for them. So they sort of like fall in love and stuff like that very slowly over a long period of time if you're doing the right things and being masculine, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So that's the first thing, is that it takes time. You know, like some dudes after the first date, the second date, they're like saying I love you and like buying her gifts and all this stuff, and then the women are just like, because it's just like needy and creepy, and it's not attractive. So you have to understand that there's differences between psychology, and then also you want to come from a place of strength and confidence and centeredness, compared to like, oh, I need a girlfriend. You're like needy and you're like pursuing and chasing, and it's just like all like feminine, and it's just not attractive to like a woman who's in her feminine or wants to be in her feminine, because it's too similar to her. She wants you to be more of a man than she is. She wants you to be strong and confident. So the ways this like can actually be implemented in your life, if you're a little bit confused, like, okay, I understand some of these concepts, but then how do you like actually implement it? Because it's a little bit confusing, like just being able to translate it from the understanding to like the actual practices and in the real world. So I think it's important to realize that a lot of our like interactions happen through, texting and phone and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start there. So if you're texting a girl, you want to be in an attitude of like being a busy person, being a like someone who has a lot of stuff to do. And even if you're not that person yet, you want to try to like kind of fake it till you make it, sort of. So it's basically just not, texting her every single second. She texts you immediately and you respond immediately, and you're like texting on or back and forth for like 2 hours, because you have to be actually, like going on dates and stuff, and the phone is not necessarily, or it's not supposed to be for communication and stuff like that. It's supposed to be for setting the date so you can actually take her out and have a good time, instead of just like being on her phone, because like she probably has like 50 dudes on her phone that are just texting her back and forth. Like, she doesn't care about that, obviously. So that's the first thing to understand, is just be busy. Don't necessarily respond right away. It doesn't have to be like I respond 17 minutes and 53 seconds after she texts me to create attraction. It's not like that weird or anything. It's just like you should be doing other things and have other things to do, so you should be able to create like that distance and make her like sort of chase your attention and not just like give it out for free to like anyone, right? Does that make sense? So the other thing is to, in part of this like masculine and like being confident and centered, is mystery. Because women are very curious. They want to like figure this guy out. Like, think about like Brad Pitt or like some mysterious like strong dude on like a TV show or whatever. They're like strong and confident and masculine, and not they aren't like putting themselves in her lap or like explaining everything about themselves. They're like a little bit mysterious, you understand? So it's important to have an air of like mystery, right? So that if she asks you a very like straightforward question, whatever it is, like a very, very straightforward question, you don't necessarily have to give a straightforward answer. You can remain mysterious and like sort of just have a joke with it, have fun with it, and it doesn't have to be like so binary, like logical, like this question answer, ask question, like robotic. It's not like that. It's like kind of just fun and like having a good time with it. Yeah. Let me see. So if you're mysterious, confident, masculine, and you have like desensitized yourself to talking to girls, so you can talk to girls, and then you want to maintain the attitude of like being a busy person, being a busy man who's like doing things. The next thing, which I'm gonna end off on this, there's a lot more things I could talk about in particular. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any more questions. But the other thing is to be like focused on your goals and whatever the thing is for you. Like, for me, it's like lifting and my business. Those are things like I want to work on a lot. So I'm like, most of my energy is focused on that, and then some of my energy, it's kind of like girls are not like the main focus. Like they're kind of on the side a little bit. It's sort of like I have my own life, my own goals, my own passions, the things I want to accomplish, and then I also have like girls on the side. But it's not like my entire focus, my entire life is that, because it just messes up your like, I don't know. It's like the wrong energy. It's like kind of needy, and it's kind of desperate. It's not really good. And yeah, it just comes with practice. A lot of this stuff is just like taking action and actually talking to one girl today, and then you'll sort of like start to build some understanding and repetitions and all that stuff. So yeah, if you have any further questions, leave a comment down below. I know this video is a little bit like sporadic, so I'll try to make it more concise and like number things and stuff like that in the future. But yeah, have a good one, and see you later. Peace.